Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 11, Section 3 of Jane Eyre, an Autobiography.
As.
Ah.
Jane Eyre, an Autobiography. Charlotte Brontë. Chapter 11, Section 3. Came and placed herself on my knee. Then, before her, shaking back her curls and lifting her eyes to the ceiling, she commenced singing a song from some opera. Forsaken lady, who, after bewailing the perfidy of her lover, to her aid, richest robes, and resolves to meet the first one that night at a ball, and prove to him, by the gaiety of her demeanour, his desertion has affected her. The subject seems strangely chosen for an infant singer, and jealousy warbled with the lisp of childhood. Twinned was. At least I thought so. Adel sang the canzone tunefully enough, and with the novice of her age. This achieved, Nian said, Anne, Mademoiselle, assuming an attitude, she began, a leg des rats, with an attention to punctuation and emphasis, of gesture, very unusual indeed at her age, been carefully trained. Was it your mamma who taught you that piece? I asked. Yes. And she just used to say it in this way. Cuives fus dunk. The idiot unto his rats. Remind me to raise my voice at the question. Well, that will do. But after your ma went to the Holy Virgin, as you say, with Madame Frederick and her husband, she took care of me. Is nothing related to me. I think she is not so fine a house as Mama. I was not long there. Mr. in Brontë. And I said yes, for I knew Mr. knew Madame Frederick. Dresses and ties. But you see, he has not kept his word. He has brought me to England, and now he is going back again himself. After breakfast, Adel and I withdrew to the library. Which room? It appears. Worcester. Rochester had directed it to be used as the schoolroom. Most of the books were locked up behind glass doors. Bookcase left open containing everything that could be needed in the way of elementary works, and several volumes of light literature. Poetry, biography, travels, few romances, and C. Governess would require for her private perusal. And indeed, amply for the present, being able to cling at Aloud, entertainment and information. In this room, too, there was a cabinet piano, quite new and of superior tone, pair of globes. I found my pupil sufficiently docile, though disinclined to apply. She had not been used to regular occupation of any kind. Would have been judicious to confine her too much at first. So, had talked to her a great deal, and got her to learn a little. And when the morning had advanced to noon, to her nurse, little sketches for her use. Ensas. Miss Fairfax called to me, "Your morning school hours are over." "Anne, I suppose," said she. Stood open, I went in when she addressed me. It was a large, stately apartment with purple chairs and curtains, a turkey carpet, walls one vast window rich in stained glass, and a lofty ceiling nobly moulded. Miss Fairfax was dusting some vases of fine purple spar which stood on a sideboard. "What a beautiful room!" I exclaimed round, for I had never before seen any half so imposing. "Yes, is the dining room. I have just opened the window, little air and sunshine. Inhabited," she pointed a wide arch corresponding to the window, like it with a tree and dyed curtain, now looped up 2 broad steps, and looking through a fairy place so bright to my novice eyes appeared the view beyond. It was merely a very pretty drawing room, and within it a boudoir spread with white carpets on which seemed laid brilliant garlands of flowers styled with snowy mouldings of white grapes and vine leaves. Contrast crimson couches and ottomans of sparkling bohemian glass ruby red. The general blending of snow and fire. "In what order do you keep these rooms?" "Miss Fairfax," said I, "noticed no canvas coverings, there feels chilly. Why, Miss Eyre?" "Though Mr. Eyre, they are always sudden and unexpected. That I put him out to find everything swathed up, bustle of arrangement on. His arrival is Mr. Rochester and exacting, particularly so. But he has a gentleman's taste and habits, Oh, yes, the family have always been respected here. All the land in this neighbourhood, as far as you can see, well, but leaving his land out of the question, do you like him? I have no cause to otherwise than like him. He is considered a just and liberal landlord by his tenants, no peculiarities. What? In short, his character is unimpeachable. I suppose he is very peculiar, perhaps deal and seen a great deal of the world, I should think. I dare say he is clever, striking, but you feel it when he speaks to you, always show whether he is in jest or earnest. The contrary, you don't thoroughly understand him. In short, at least, I don't. But it is of no consequence for Miss Fairfax, of her employer and mine, to have no notion of sketching a character, or observing and describing salient points, either in persons or things. The good lady evidently belonged to this class. My queries puzzled, but did not draw her out. Mr. was Mr. Rochester in her eyes a gentleman, a landed property, or anything more? She inquired, and such no further, getting a more definite notion of his identity. When we left the dining room, proposed to show me over the rest of the house, upstairs and downstairs, admiring as I went handsome the large front chambers. I thought especially grand 3rd-story rooms, though dark and low, were interesting from their air of antiquity, removed here as fashions changed. Casement showed bedsteads of 100-year-old chests in oak or walnut looking, with their strange carvings upon branches and cherubs. Heads of the Hebrew ark, rows of venerable chairs, high-backed and narrow, still more antiquated, on whose cushion tops we yet apart. Traces of half-effaced embroideries, warped by fingers that for 2 generations had been fingers. Hash, a shrine of memory. I liked the hash. The gloom, the quaintness of these retreats day and nights. Repose on one of those wide and heavy beds, shut in, some of them with doors of oak shaded, others old English hangings crusted with thick work portraying effigies of strange flowers. Stranger birds and strangest human beings all which would have looked strange. Indeed, by the pallid gleam of moonlight, do the servants sleep in these rooms? I asked. No, they occupy a range of smaller apartments to the back. Ever sleep, sir? One would almost say that at Thornfield Hall, so I think you have no ghosts either. Head over to Miss Fairfax, smiling. Many traditions of one? I believe not. A violent and a quiet race in their time. Perhaps, though, life's fit for fever they sleep well, I muttered. Where are you going now, Miss Fairfax? For she was moving away. Onto the leads, come and see the view from thence. I followed still, staircase to that the roof of the hall. Colony, and could see into their nests. Far down, I surveyed the grounds laid out like a map, and velvet lawn closely girding the grey base of the mansion, the field wide as a park, dotted with its ancient timber, the wood and sewer, divided by a path visibly overgrown, trees were with foliage, the church. At the gates, the road, tranquil hills, all were singing. The autumn day sun, a propitious sky azure, marbled with fairly white. Scene was extraordinary, but always pleasing. We're past the trap door. I could scarcely see my way down the ladder. I had been looking up, and to that sunlit scene of grove, pasture, and green hill, of which the hall was the centre, which I had been gazing with delight. Must fasten the trap door, I, by dint of groping, that and proceeded to descend the narrow girt staircase, the long passage to which this led, the third story, narrow, low and dim, window at the far end, and looking back, doors all shut like a corridor in some Bluebeard's castle. So Theon, the last sound I expected to hear in so still a region. A laugh struck my ear. It was a curious laugh, distinct, formal, breathless. I stopped, sound ceased, instant it began again. Odder, for at first, though distinct, it was very low, wake an echo in every lonely chamber, though it originated but in one, and I could have pointed out the door whence the access. Shoot, mice, I called out, for I now heard her descending the great stairs. You hear that loud laugh? Some of the servants. Very likely, she answered. Did you hear it? I again inquired. Yes, plainly her. She's in one of these rooms. Sometimes Lee is with her. The laugh was repeated in its low, syllabic tone and odd murmur. Grace, exclaimed Miss Fairfax. One, sir, for the laugh was as tragic any I ever heard. But that it was high noon, that no circumstance of Gus Linus company the curious cachinnation, season favoured fear, I should have been superstitiously afraid. However, showed me I was a fool for entertaining a sense even of surprise. Nearest me opened, and a sieve came out her. Woman of between 30 and 40, a set, square-made figure, red-haired and with a hard face, any apparition less romantic or less ghostly could scarcely be conceived. Noise, Grace, said Miss Fairfax. And work, continued the widow, not altogether unobjectionable in some points. Well enough. By the by, the conversation this turned on. Adult, we reached the light and cheerful region below, in the hall, exclaiming, Miss Dames, visit to service, adding jibe and fame. To be continued.